The year was 1909. A group of businessmen led by Carl Fisher had a vision. They imagined a massive speedway in Indianapolis, Indiana. Their goal was to create a testing ground for the burgeoning automotive industry. Little did they know they were laying the foundation for something much bigger. This speedway would become the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the hallowed ground of IndyCar racing. The first races at Indianapolis were a spectacle. Cars were less sophisticated, the track was still being refined, and the dangers were very real. Yet the speed and competition captivated audiences. The roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the thrill of the chase were intoxicating. Indianapolis Motor Speedway quickly became synonymous with speed, danger, and the pursuit of glory. The inaugural Indianapolis 500-mile race, held in 1911, solidified the speedway's place in motorsports history. It was a grueling test of man and machine. Drivers pushed their cars to the limit, battling fatigue and mechanical failures. The race was a resounding success, drawing massive crowds and capturing the public's imagination. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway had become more than just a proving ground for cars. It had become a stage for something truly special, a spectacle that would evolve into the sport we know and love today as IndyCar racing. This was just the beginning. The Indianapolis 500 quickly established itself as the crown jewel of American motorsports. It was the race every driver dreamed of winning. The prestige and glory associated with victory in the greatest spectacle in racing were unparalleled. The race became a proving ground for the best drivers and teams in the world. In the early years, the sport was governed by the American Automobile Association, or AAA. The AAA played a crucial role in shaping the rules and regulations of IndyCar racing, ensuring fair competition and driver safety. Legendary names like Louis Meyer, Wilbur Shaw, and Maury Rose etched their names into the history books as multiple-time Indy 500 champions. As the sport grew in popularity, so did the crowds at Indianapolis. The Speedway underwent several transformations to accommodate the increasing number of spectators. New grandstands were erected and the track itself was paved with bricks, giving birth to the iconic moniker, the Brickyard. The Indy 500 became a spectacle that transcended motorsports. It was a cultural phenomenon that captured the spirit of American ingenuity, determination, and the pursuit of excellence. The race became a Memorial Day weekend tradition, a time when families and friends would gather to witness history in the making. The roar of the crowd, the pageantry of the pre-race ceremonies, and the sheer speed of the cars created an unforgettable experience for all who attended. After World War II, IndyCar racing experienced a resurgence in popularity. The sport was gaining momentum, but there were growing pains. The AAA, which had overseen the sport for decades, decided to step away from motorsports in 1955, following a tragic crash at Le Mans. In the wake of the ADA's departure, a new governing body was formed, the United States Auto Club, or USAC. USAC took the reins of IndyCar racing, ushering in a new era for the sport. Under USAC's guidance, IndyCar continued to grow, attracting top drivers and teams from around the world. However, by the 1970s, a rift began to develop within USAC. Many team owners and drivers felt that USAC was not doing enough to promote the sport or address their concerns. They desired a greater voice in the direction of IndyCar racing. In response, a group of owners formed the Championship Auto Racing Teams, or CART, in 1979. CART's formation marked a turning point in IndyCar history. It challenged USAC's authority and ushered in an era of competition between the two organizations. This rivalry would have a profound impact on the sport, shaping its future for years to come. The CART versus USAC rivalry intensified throughout the 1980s, with CART gaining momentum and challenging USAC's control over IndyCar racing. CART introduced new ideas and innovations such as aerodynamic advancements and turbocharged engines, which pushed the boundaries of speed and technology. In 1996, the rivalry reached a boiling point, leading to a split within the sport. Tony George, the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and grandson of founder Carl Fisher, formed the Indy Racing League, or IRL. The IRL aimed to create a series that emphasized oval track racing and provided more opportunities for American drivers and teams. The CART versus IRL Split Split had a seismic impact on IndyCar racing. It divided fans, drivers, and teams. The sport was now fractured, with two separate series competing for attention and resources. The split also led to confusion and frustration among fans who were forced to choose sides. The rivalry reached its peak during the month of May, as both CART and the IRL held races on the same day, forcing fans to choose between attending the Indianapolis 500, now under IRL sanctioning, or the US 500. CART's alternative event held at Michigan International Speedway. The split cast a long shadow over IndyCar racing, diminishing its overall popularity and impacting its long-term viability.